How are you guys doing? And today's video is going to be about how I think I could potentially fix Call of Dragons. I'm going to implement different changes, what could improve the game, and actually create a fun experience where people enjoy spending time in Call of Dragons. Because at the moment, there is two major problems in the game, and that is what I'm trying to address in this video. And that is the activity / rewards in the game, and basically just the progression rate for players, because both of those kind of work together, and that is what the biggest burden is. There's just not enough stuff to do in game, which is causing players to be bored, because the only time you're really playing this game is when there's war. And obviously players want to kind of do stuff in between war, even if it's downtime as a mini game, an event, you name it, right? So we're going to go through a few things, as well as suggestions, as well as how to fix certain areas within the game. So it's going to be a nice little in-depth video here. It's going to cover quite a lot of stuff. So if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Smash like, comment, and subscribe. My name is MrSneakyy. We've been here since day one. And if you're wondering why you should listen to me or have any ideas of why, I have got any qualifications, I've been playing this game since server 4, guys. So I've been here, honestly, since the beginning of the game. Apart from the guys in server 1 and 2, I will always give credit where credit's due. Those are the older accounts. They'll be around 730 days, maybe a little bit higher if they're in servers 1 and 2, but we are the oldest players. We've gone through everything, every change in history, and we've lived through it, right? So I thought, why not? Why not give my opinion on what we could do, right? So first things first is the VIP system. Since we're already in it, you can see you can do some cool stuff, obviously selecting what heroes you want. But the problem is they changed the VIP system to be so much more pay to win. And I think this would be one feature straight away that would benefit the entire community. And the thing is, the developers might be scared of heroes being obtained too quickly. But the problem, or the solution to that, is your Call of Dragons. This is a fantasy-based game, so the character limit is infinite. You do not have the restrictions like you do in Rise of Kingdoms, right? Because Rise of Kingdoms is technically restricted to all the historical figures that we know of within our history. So they can't really create people that don't fit in the story there. So Call of Dragons has that ability. So you shouldn't be scared of giving players heroes to play with, because that is honestly the biggest foundation in the game. So first things in VIP, you could just switch this back to how it used to be, where I think it was on VIP 12, you earned 2 sculptures. Just give everyone 2 sculptures on VIP 12. And once you hit VIP 15, for now, maybe you introduce VIP 16, and that's when the next actual category comes in. But you unlock 3 sculptures, right? So you got 1, 2, and 3, and then later down the line, you might add another, level 20, and that could be 4 or 5. Be really generous on giving daily gifts, because again, this little area for players does, for free-to-players, give a lot, right? A lot of players try to get this level 12 to get the research and Legion defense buff, and even earlier on, level 10, just again, to get these legendary tokens for their account, because it's so important for players to get heroes, right? So this is one little area I want to talk about. The next area which I want to talk about is actually the reward structure in stuff we're doing on the map. So as you guys know, we've got a brand new fort search feature, which I think is amazing. You can obviously search for the forts if there's any forts near your location. So there's the level 12. And what I'd actually want to suggest, again, in these forts, maybe for level 12 or level 10 to 12, there is a hero pool of peacekeeping champions that you're unlocking. So good example for this, I'm not going to lie, would be Bakshi, right? Because Bakshi is a good cavalry hero, but a lot of players realistically use their Bakshis and Emrys on their account as the rally kind of fort killer for their account to get the XP. So it'd be really cool to introduce Bakshi, for example, being able to be earned because of the peacekeeping bonuses here as like a lucrative reward. You could also include in there other peacekeeping champions that are in the game. So even if you wanted to add something like Guan Win, or if you added later down the line a couple of new heroes, you can add a couple of 2 brand new legendary heroes only obtained from killing forts, which would be a really good free-to-play active-based hero that you could unlock, right? Then there's could be a couple of epics in the same category. So this is where we're trying to address how players can obtain heroes as well as being active and doing something. And the thing is with forts are always done all the time. So I think this is a really good way you could actually make them a little bit more juicier to do. And the thing is, you could also change maybe the Darklings, but I don't want to get too involved in that. Maybe increase the definite amount of Sentinel arrows that you're gaining per kill would be a lot better. I'm just going to be saying that. But I'm not going to go too deep in there. And these are just suggestions, again, ideas I'm floating around to give hopefully the devs that watch these videos some ideas. Like, he's actually onto something here, right? He's not wrong. If we just give players more stuff, it just means we have to create more heroes, but we have an infinite pool, right? So that's kind of the first point. We're going to go back into the hero area, and another thing that we need to get into the game as soon as possible, because this is one thing that I stressed when I was in the CC program when they were talking about stopping the reset of heroes, or even making a soft reset to level 40, for example. When they were doing this, I explained at the time, you are now removing the opportunity for players to technically level up the hero and unlock just that 3rd skill. So then they could max out and go for a 5-5-5-1 hero, for example, and then keep leveling up the hero. And the only way they could change that is with skill lock. And as you can imagine, it's still not in the game. And this needs to be added, honestly, fast. This would change things so drastically in the game. But I want it to be nothing like Rise of Kingdoms, because the Rise of Kingdoms skill lock system, honestly, is a little bit bad. I'm going to be honest, because the way it works is if you have 2 skills open, what you can do is lock this skill. And if you lock this skill, it's going to basically just bounce onto it and ignore the 50-50. If you had 3 skills done and you try and lock this skill here, it still has a chance for flipping between. It's weird. So I don't like it at all. The way I would love them to be is more like Age of Titans. Age of Titans allows you to just pick wherever you want to, level. Even if you ignored this very first skill, you could have gone and, leveled up the 3rd or 4th skill. And you might have been thinking, that sounds stupid. You always need to max out the 1st skill. You are right, but what if they made more heroes like Magra and Zadar and not Bertrand, but Toha, all these passive-based heroes where, to be honest, this skill could be on the 3rd skill, right? And this 1st skill could be something else. And it allows players to kind of choose, do we want to go for all of these stats here, then grab this, and then grab this, and then, finish off the hero? It's all choice. And I think that flexibility is what players want, especially when they're spending so much money in the game. So those are 2 major things I'd really want in the whole scenario, and especially when it comes to the hero side of things, right? The next thing I'm going to talk about, as you can imagine, is the factions. So we still only have 3 factions in the game, which is crazy. And this is honestly a really big stale breaker. Honestly, playing a city building game like this, you want more than 3. I'm telling you, we expect at least 4, especially because of Call of Dragons having 4 major unit types. That's kind of how most factions work, right? There's normally a faction that's really good with each of the units. So people will say Wilderberg are really good for archers, right? Because they have the Spearmen, which is one of the best, if not the best, unit. And now the upgraded Wyvern Riders is so nice for archer players. Then you go to League of Order, and it's definitely the mage. Everyone wants to play mage, goes League of Order. And if you want to be more of a cavalry player, you're going over to Spring Wardens. But where's the infantry? There's no infantry-based faction yet. And this is where I believe the next faction is going to be the Dwarf faction, which is going to be cool. But I expected more by now, right? I expected this Dwarven faction to be out in Season B2, and when they were hyping up, when we're going into this new season of Strife, and there could be new enemies and new stuff, but then later on, showcased we're going back to basically a Season 1 map, it was a little bit lackluster because they could have made some new units, right? Maybe on the map could have been these stone golems, you know, like ancient golems, relic pieces, old metal shards that have come together, right, with just binding of energy because of maybe the behemoth in the whole season. And that could have been the next faction, the stone golem guys. That could have been maybe another infantry faction. Who knows? Who knows? But it'd have been really interesting that each season they're able to do stuff like that, and they've not done that. So one big change they need to add is more factions. I actually think when Call of Dragons has at least 5 factions, it's going to be a really good game because it's going to be really fun and dynamic to see what all of these different factions are really good at, and seeing all the different units on the field is going to make it just look so much better than it already does, right? So really good thing that they need to do is get the factions in order. Now I'm going to move over to kind of a singular unit, and we have to talk about him because they're on Spring Wardens, and I can't talk about Call of Dragons units without mentioning them, because out of all of the units in the game, everyone's been buffed and looked after apart from the poor Elk Riders, guys. These Elk Riders are really fun units to use. However, they never get any sort of love when it comes to a season. And that is the real sad reality when you play Cavalry. Because you really do want to use these Elk Riders, but you always find out, even at melee, grounded Forest Eagles are just better to use over these guys. And it's really sad. Especially when you go into, again, Season of Belleron, there's no sort of Elk Rider unit kind of buffs, right? And we're going to go into each season. I'm going to explain what I personally think you could do each season as well to improve them, which would help this unit. But Elk Riders do need some sort of buff. That is my suggestion. Make them an actual fun unit to be and have a unique passive. Maybe they're kind of like an archer, maybe like kind of like mag, right? Maybe the unit itself has this ability where they hit you, and on the 4th or 5th attack, they maybe hit you harder, or they hit you for 2 attacks, or they might hit multiple units around you with the same normal attack, like an AoE normal. It'd be really cool just to give them some sort of flavor and just buff the unit, right? So I have to talk about Elk Riders again. Another good suggestion, I think, to make the game more fun for all players that kind of want to play that role. I know not everyone wants to, right? Now I'm going to go to the events, and Strongest Lord is one event that I really think they could take a lot of note from when you look at stuff like Whiteout Survival. And Whiteout Survival has so many heroes legendary as well to unlock in that game, but they give you so many ways to unlock their heroes, even when it comes to the reward system in your Strongest Lord. So the current reward structure, as you guys know, is from ranks 1 to, I believe, 25. There we go. So if you're in the top 25 players, you unlock the hero. And then apart from that, it's always going to be generational free tokens, which go all the way down. And this even stops at the top 100, right? So not even the top 100 are earning anything when they're trying to push power. And this is really bad incentive for free-to-players or low spenders to kind of participate in these events. It's kind of saying, look, we only care about the spenders. You guys can just kind of jog on. So what I think you should do straight away is restructure the whole, reward system. You can give more sculptures to the spenders because they're willing to spend money. And I think people who are investing into the game are able to have access to those heroes, right? That's kind of the whole point of investing in. So if you still want to keep it 200, increase it to 250, that's up to you. But I would definitely increase this one up to like 150 or 175. Put this to like 100 sculptures. Then here you'd have around like 75 sculptures. Now we're going to the 50 sculptures on rank 5. And you can see how it's just kind of nicely staggering now. So we've got a 45 one here instead. We've got a 41 here instead. And then anyone on the, 8 to 10 are going to get the 30 sculptures. So then rank 11 to 15 could have 20 sculptures. And then the same as here, you could have 10 sculptures for rank 16 to 25, 10 sculptures for 26 to 35. And what I would suggest is change this to 5. Just give 5 sculptures for the strongest Lord hero. So the top, basically 36 to 50, all of these guys would get 5 sculptures. Because that would mean those players would have to participate twice in the series of the Strongest Lord event, right? To unlock their hero within that season, which I think is a really good and fair way to balance it out. And then you can kind of take it even further. You could say from 51 all the way to maybe like 75, or maybe just say to 100, just be easy. From 50 to 100, those guys get 2 heads, just simply 2 heads. Because what that would allow players to do, because of especially the brand new structure on Strongest Lord, say you missed out on Theodore last season, guys, you can still come back and unlock him, right? So even the free-to-play players that are maybe a cavalry main and they know they need to get something like a Goresh, they need to unlock Goresh as an infantry main, and they couldn't do it, they know if they compete at least 5 times in a Strongest Lord event, they're going to unlock that hero. And by unlocking that hero, and it's a G2 hero, they know the G3 sculptures, the G4 sculptures they've been earning on their account. If they want to, they can go back and invest into this hero and have it on their account. So that's one thing I think they could really do when it comes to events. Make Strongest Lord a lot more fair and give everyone access to the heroes, not just the top basically 25 that are participating, because it really does send the pay-to-win message compared to free-to-players. And if you're going to tailor this game to free-to-players as well as spenders, just give everyone the same access to heroes when it comes to the way they're going to be obviously playing the game. Now, what else could you improve in the game, Sneaky? Because there's quite a lot. The big thing I'm going to talk about next is the Proving Grounds. Because Proving Grounds is in Belleron 2, and you're going to play it in Season of Strife. And the thing is, this just takes so much of your time. I'm going to be honest. It takes so much of your time to do. And at the same time, if you get pushed out of the zone, who knows? You might not even get a chance to do it, right? So the thing is with this, I would actually just stress again, just give more sculptures. Give more sculptures. Put 10 sculptures here, put 15 sculptures here. I don't understand how going up to the max settings, you're getting less sculptures. I know these are legendary hero tokens and these are generational 3 ones, but just make them in the season. If you're playing this as a season-to-season game, just do it. Just make it all season-based if you want, right? Or, even better, which a lot of players would probably go for, make this 10 legendary hero tokens and make this like 15 legendary hero tokens. So there's 25 hero tokens you can earn in a season, which basically allows you to skill up a hero twice or halfway for another skill. It's not too bad, right? Even in the late game, it's like a 1/5 of the way there or a 1/4 of the way there. So really good at just balancing things out. Again, just giving players access to heroes to unlock and play in Call of Dragons, right? So there's quite a lot I've gone through there. The next thing I'm going to kind of go through is the season-to-season stuff. So if I kind of zoom out here, we can kind of go into the maps. We're in Season 1 here. You've got your Season 2, which is the Icebound Strife. And then you go into Pre-Strife, which is basically your pre-KVK. And then you enter Season of Strife, which is what we're in, right? And this is the newest season. So I don't mind Season 1. Everyone loves Season 1, and I think Season 1 is a great season. So I wouldn't actually change anything really of it. It's a really good season. But when it comes to Season 2, again, the way this is structured, you need to give players straight away in those Proving Ground areas better rewards. That's the first thing you need to do. The second major thing now, which should start popping up as just some video footage of past stuff, is mastery skills or the seasonal talents, right? So the seasonal talents in Belleron 2, when you look at the current structure, you have 4 flags, and 3 of them are catered to units, and 1 of them's kind of a utility-based, engineering-based you know, area, which is kind of cool. I do like that. But it makes more sense again because you've got 4 units in the game to create 4 separate trees. So in Belleron 2, you should have a seasonal talent area specifically for your cavalry units. Then you should have one for your infantry, one for your mages, and one for your archers. And then if you want that extra one, which has got all the cool funky stuff where you can earn extra merits or extra prestige or, you know, anything what you want, right? Destruction, you choose, right? You can put that in that extra 5th category. But by doing this, what you allow players to do is actually choose a lot more impactful talents that could be game-changing. So again, you could go for long-range talent in the archer tree as one of the choices. But what if you changed it up and allowed maybe your normal attacks to do AoE damage? So maybe some players might stick to the medium range, take the damage, but they know that normal attack damage is spreading to 1 or 2 extra units. So it's going to do some extra burst. Who knows? That's a very tough decision some players might have, right? And again, when it comes to the cavalry, you can make talents then which allow you to boost your elk rider units' effectiveness or just standard cavalry units, because that's kind of the blend of playing cards. They do tend to play either Spring Wardens or the Wilderberg. So if you play any one of those 2 factions and you're a cav player, I can guarantee you, if you see an elk rider buff, you're just going to go into the cav buff straight away as a Wilderberg player. But if you're a cav guy in Spring Wardens, that's a choice you're willing to choose, right? So I think you're able to make Season Belleron 2 so much better by just actually making seasonal talents what they're supposed to be, right? So that's one thing straight away. Now we're going to go into the current season I'm in. So I'm in Season of Strife. So if you come out of here, you can kind of zoom in and go on the seasonal menu and it will pop up. Love the whole menu. I'm going to be honest with you guys, really nice. However, there is some stuff I just don't like about the system. So mastery skills is one really big one. I don't mind the way you unlock them. You can see me, honestly guys, I'm going to showcase, look, I've unlocked all of my first page here. The second page, I'm on the way to start to unlock now. So just to showcase it, I'm unlocking it now. If you look at my legendary ones, both of my legendary ones are done as well. And then if you go to the 4th one, this is practically done too. So you can see it's not really hard for low spenders and free-to-players to actually complete the mastery skills stuff. What I'm actually upset about is how good this is in Rise of Kingdoms compared to Call of Dragons. In Rise of Kingdoms, these mastery skills can be paired onto 2 units. So if you bring out your Legion, what happens is it gives you 2 slots and you can choose what skills you want to put on those slots because you have access to them because you've unlocked them through the Bastion. And I kind of would like the same kind of thing here. Maybe adding a 6th slot here and adding another silver one would be really interesting because that could open that option up where maybe you only run 3 marches, but with those 3 marches, you run 2 mastery skills on each of them. Or maybe you run, you know, 5 marches with 1 each and then 1 extra for one of your marches. It's up to you, right? I think players would love that creativity and they really were looking forward to creating some absolutely game-breaking, you know, just combos. And I think what's funny is the devs are scared of that. But I wouldn't be. You've got to remember, this is only for 1 season. And if players are able to create some of the most insane combos for infantry or for archers or for mages by combining these skills, you should be loving that as a company because you're allowing your players to express their creativity. And on top of that, the content that could come out would be insanely wild. It'd be so fun to watch for that season and people would love it. And if they get to go back to it, maybe they want to go back, right? Because of that craziness. So my big thing with this would to kind of allow a little bit of the restrictions on the mastery skills and kind of loose them, guys, and let players have a little bit more fun with them. Because I think this could be a really good season on top of what it kind of is already with that structure. On top of this, we're going to go into kind of the, I would say, the reward system. So the reward system at the moment, you can get these Aedra Ambers and you can get merits. The big issue with merits that people have is you're able to easily buy, and I'm going to be honest, you're able, when you're at war and you're fighting, you're able to outbuy all of this store. It's not a problem. And the problem becomes you're fighting and it's Sunday, and somehow you can look at your merits and you've got like nearly between 1 million, or you can have 5 million depending on a spender. Like, even if you have 600,000, guys, like, for a free to play, you have all of those merits and they disappear to 100k, and it's crazy. What I would suggest, even if you're gonna have this reset, maybe double the reset to 200,000. What I would actually insist is change the way this system works. I know you can refresh this weekly, but maybe increase the amount. So maybe you can increase the refresh instead of just once. Maybe allow players to do it twice or 3 times, because this is the lucrative rewards, and this is where people really are spending their hard-earned merits. And once this is out, they are just going on to the daily one, and maybe again increase the daily to maybe like 5. Just let players do this and actually reduce the amount of gems it costs, so free-to-players and spenders can all do this. And the way you could actually implement that is like an accumulation one, right? So it could be 20 gems, then 40 gems, and then 60 gems. And the thing is, over time, 3 of those has cost them 120 gems in general. Then it's going to go up to 200. Then it'll go up to over 200 gems, right? And it's nice because it's a nice steady increase where players can choose how deep they want to go. And again, they're allowed to spend their merits, because merits is where players, honestly, at the moment, get access to grow their accounts. This area is so good, and if you are sleeping on this, you guys are just under a rock, because I'm going to make a really good video explaining how people are abusing the merit store to grow their accounts right now. The other thing is the Edra Amber. So Edra Amber right now, as you guys know, gets you pet skills, and I've already made a video on it. I will pop it up here. You can check it fully out. But this area, again, could just be infinitely better, and I suspect in the future it's gonna be better. So you can have legendary sculptures in here, old 10% skins that haven't been, unlocked for players in the greatest heights. You can make them ludicrously, costless, like 30, like 10 or 15, maybe, for those big boy skins, maybe 20, just, I don't know, throwing random numbers out there. But you understand what I'm saying? They could increase this store again. This would increase probably players wanting to play the game, because if you're able to play the game, be active, unlock these achievements that you can see in that's in the game, you're gonna have faith that, okay, even though I'm a free-to-play player, hopefully in a year and a half, maybe 2 years, I'm actually gonna have some decent heroes that I'm able to play with, compared to just playing this game for 2 years, and most free-to-play players have not even got T5. The heroes are still like 5-5, like 1-1, or like 5-5-2-2, or some weird crazy shit, right? It's just not on, right? Because players are playing this game and spending their time, and time is honestly the most valuable asset in the world right now. If you're able to get people to spend time in your game or on a product, that's what people want to do. That's why people have so much, attention span, and why, myself making content, I got to try and make content that's good for you guys and you enjoy. So those are quite a lot of suggestions I've gone through on Call of Dragons so far, and I am going to address one final area, because I have to address this final area because it was a little bit of a spoiler in that Edra Amber store, and it is the war pets. The war pets is the final thing I really want to talk about when it comes to fixing the game, right? Because these little areas that I've spoke about so far in Call of Dragons is, I would call, all the foundations. These are all the things people are playing day to day, and honestly, if you're spending so much time on the game, you should be able to get rewards, you should be given rewards, and not, the devs shouldn't be scared of that. They should be actually happy to see players wanting to play the game and watch their player base grow. And War Pets was a prime example of this. I've got 5 warrants, but that's only because of my seasonal policies. As soon as I come out of here and I'm in my home kingdom, I'm going to have 2. And it's just not good, boys. Like, the war pet system is one of the best things in the game. Honestly, for people, it's really fun. It's really, like, gets creative because of how war pets are. But you just can't get access to them. You just cannot get access to them. That is the issue with war pets. And especially now with the brand new systems that are being added in, so you can go to the war pet area here. And if we clicked on one of these skills, I could like use this upgrade, find a pet to consume I don't want, and get basically a upgraded skill. And I don't like the fact that you can do stuff like this, but you only allow 2 pets a day. So immediately what I would suggest is let everyone, no matter what, capture 5 pets every single day. And with maybe the policies, you increase that to 10 war pets every single day. And one thing I know a lot of players will kind of frown upon, but I know the guys want to make money at the end of the day. I'm going to be honest, where is a $4.99 little monthly pass? I'm going to be honest. If imagine you had a monthly pass, these are giving you regen pots you don't really care about. But imagine you was able to get like an insight rune for the season, and in that it grant you 5 again additional war pet captures, and it might give you like so many of the currency, you know, the hearts to unlock the chest to get skills. So this little gift draw area, so you got these tokens too. It also granted you tokens to increase your actual capacity, because there is no way of doing this without paying for gems. And then the same thing with like even your skill cards. Even though skill cards, to be honest, you can see I've got a bunch, guys. I'm on 110 and I'm almost getting to the next one. I just need to use technically 1,000 gems. I'd unlock it, but I'm not gonna keep releasing pets, and when we get to 100 we get to 140 basically, right? But you can see like even here you can add those into this little pass, and this could be only $4.99. honestly, it only needs to be $4.99, because then again free-to-play players might, you know, get a gift card. It might be their birthday, who knows, and they might be like, do you know what, for £30 I can get this pass for like 6 months. And that's going to help me get my war pets, because it's granting me all of these extra benefits on top. So you can see where I'm going with it. You have to obviously make money. I understand that as a company. I'm not a fucking Grinch at all, right? But it's really, realistically, good ways of doing it. And I think mini passes like that is a good way of showing it, where you can already give players through policies 10 captures, right, in their account, and then they can go for 15 captures if they want to spend a little bit of money and make it only like $5. Like I said, nothing crazy at all, because by doing that you're allowing free-to-players, low spenders, and again big spenders kind of to be on the same level and just kind of have fun and have activity and play the game and embrace Call of Dragons, because that is the biggest issue, honestly, the game has. The game doesn't allow players to actually do anything. It doesn't want you in the game, it seems, apart from when you're fighting, dying, and spending money to, you know, revive your troops or train new troops, which is kind of a really bad reputation to hold. And that's why a lot of the community look at the game like that, and why a lot of the community have been leaving, because they see it as that Rise of Kingdoms 2.0, and you could have gone down a completely different path, right? So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. It's been one of my kind of run-in, you know, videos about how I would potentially fix Call of Dragons. However, this is part 1. It's a little surprise, so you guys who've watched it all the way to the end, this is going to be part 1, because I've kind of talked about everything in the game so far. But what could we do and add into Call of Dragons from other games? Because there's other 4X city building games out there, and to be honest, some of them are doing so much better than Call of Dragons, and they could really take some easy ideas and make this game really fun, a little bit more, you know, active based, and just have a bit of creativity for once, right? So if you've enjoyed the video, smash a like, comment, and subscribe. My name is MrSneakyy, like always, and until the next video, stay safe, guys, stay sneaky, peace out.